Today is a bit of a heavier subject. Today we're going to talk about the Muslim world and gay people. Now, as a preface, this is not like a video about me being Islamophobic or something. This is just an objective, factual take on how the Muslim world as a whole treats gay people. And this is pretty much without exception. The sort of things that you're about to hear are, they're straight out of the Dark Ages. So, as you may know, the Muslim world is not grounded in a Judeo-Christian belief system. It's grounded in an Islamic one, meaning that their culture is, in some ways, very different from ours. And by ours, I mean the West, the general belief system of the Western world. Now, pretty much all of these nations who are majority Muslim are not democracies. That's not because necessarily they are majority Muslim, but it is because of the culture of these countries.
اللواط مثلا أو في جانب الصالونات النساء كالسحاق وغير ذلك بالنسبة للنساء، هذا إفساد في الأرض، هذه عقوبة الإعدام.
غير القانون شو ممكن تعمل؟ غير المؤبد والإعدام.
يعني في الشريعة الإسلامية اللواط أنا حقيقة يعني أستخسر فيهم الإعدام، والله هؤلاء ينبغي في الواقع أن يوضعوا في مكان عام ويجلدوا ويعذبوا حتى.
Now, in the past few centuries, Christianity has sort of died down on the whole, killing infidels thing, and we've sort of transitioned into a more reformed, calm sort of interpretation that is non-literal. The majority of the Islamic world has not gotten there yet. They still, or many of these countries, still use Sharia law, which is, by every metric, a brutal legal system. You can easily have as punishment your limbs removed, or to be castigated or whipped or stoned or hung. And hung in the streets too. This is no joke, man. In these countries, women aren't really treated great. Saudi women just got the right to drive, which, you're kind of behind on that one, Saudis. They are an absolute monarchy, though, that has zero respect for human rights, and they're, by all measures, pretty much socially in the late Iron Age. So, for gay people, because that's what this video is about. It's how they treat gay people and members of the LGBT community. It's, disturbing says nothing, almost, at all. So, as an example, we'll start with Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is, in many ways, a representative population, and economically, they are by far the most advanced. On social media sites in Saudi Arabia, it's not uncommon to hear or see hashtags or trending videos or photos of people hating on gays, saying things as, die, faggot, I hope you burn in hell. And I'll be displaying many of these on screen, but it's beyond horrible. They sort of collectively agree to treat these people like less than garbage, and it's not okay. It's not uncommon for, if you were discovered to be gay, people will literally just kill you, or they'll stick you in a hole in the ground, cover you with stones, and then a bunch of people will throw stones at your head while you slowly die in this hole. It's gruesome, does not even scratch the surface of how these people treat gays. It's unbelievable. It's inexcusable. We need to talk about this. In Iran, which is sort of a theocratic government run by the Ayatollah, and the Ayatollah is, he's a monster. We laugh at him, but he is one of the world's most evil people. In Iran, if you are raped, you need to have, assuming you're a woman, 5 or 3 to 5, but primarily 5 male witnesses of the rape. And if you have none, then you will be imprisoned or killed. And primarily the way that you're killed is by firing squad, or you're hung in the streets by a crane. There are many stories of young men too being sexually assaulted. And if you're sexually assaulted as a man in Iran, the punishment is death for you and the person who did it. It's It's absolutely reprehensible, and I hate the Iranian government. They are monsters. They are absolute monsters. The fact that they treat human beings like this it's beyond inexcusable. It's absolutely fascistic, Hitlerian, Stalinistic, anything you can throw at it, any sort of general pejorative that would describe them accurately. They are textbook evil, and they use radical interpretations of Islam to justify their ideology. In this day and age, it's also not uncommon for people to dox people who they think are gay just to screw them over, because they know if they post something about it on social media, that person will receive death threats, probably all sorts of hate mail. Anything I say wouldn't do any of these things justice. It's just horrible. And I'm sure I'll be showing things on screen that sort of represent this, but it's absolutely infuriating for me. It's so frustrating that we don't talk about this, and especially that the United States turns a blind eye because Saudi Arabia is a strategically important place in the Middle East and they provide oil. We're now the largest oil producer on earth, so I don't think that we should continue morally supporting this country. They're evil. They are one of the global bad guys. It's not just like it's the king and everybody else is following along. These people willingly live in a society that is, to its core, hateful and uncompromising. And that ruins ingenuity. It ruins any hope that they could have for reform. It's an absolutely destructive system. It's so disgusting. There's no words. There really are no words at all. And I'm making this video because I know it's the coronavirus pandemic and this isn't what people really want to hear right now. However, it's important that I make this, I think, so that when this calms down, when the pandemic situation calms down, we remember the issues that were so important before it. And this is absolutely one of those issues. For the world to stand idly by and let this happen is a disgrace. The UN affirms that there are human rights, and Saudi Arabia is on the UN Security Council. As a general rule, global organizations are just littered with corruption and hypocrisy, so none of that surprised me. But morally and symbolically, it's beyond disappointing and just absolutely disgusting. So I encourage you to raise awareness and talk about this and make it known, because it's just, to say that it's not okay is almost insultingly shallow of a statement. It's a global problem. These are hundreds of millions of people who live in societies like this. We need to have a serious conversation. And I understand that talking about Islam in this way is a taboo. This is not, I say again, this is not a sort of hit on Islam or people of that religion. This is a informative video on the radical interpretations of that religion and how common they are. It's the primary interpretation of the religion. Anyway, the next video will be more lighthearted and funny, but this is something that needed to be made. There are those who've sounded the alarm. I'll plug them on screen. The best one that I know of who made an excellent video on this is Kraut, who I'll link in the description, and I'll show his channel on screen here. But this is not an issue that is widely talked about, and it really, to say that it should be is not a weighty enough statement. It must be talked about. Please share this video. I'm not going to ask you to like it because it's not, I don't think this is a video that should be enjoyed. Dislike it if you didn't like it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you, and goodbye.